morning, students. In the last class we discussed about the fundamentals of structures. So today we are going to discuss the remaining 3 points of structures: memory allocation of structure variable, nested structure, and the last one, array of structures. So first we are moving on to the first point, memory allocation of structure variable. Here I have written an example. I have created a structure named teacher and I have created a variable, structure variable t1. So here we are going to look how many bytes of memory will be taken by the variable, structure variable t1. The formula is the total memory taken by the variable, structure variable is equal to the total memory occupied by each data elements declared in the structure. That means here there are 4 data elements, namely TID, TNAME, TDESIC, TBP. So the total memory taken by the variable T1 will be is equal to the total memory required by the variable TID plus the total memory required by the variable TNAME plus the total memory required by the variable TDESIC plus the total memory required by the variable TBP. So in this example, we know that TID is of type integer. Integer will take 4 bytes of memory. So TID will require 4 bytes of memory. And here TNAME is of type character array. TNAME can occupy 20 characters. That means TNAME will take 20 bytes of memory because for the character data type, each character require 1 byte of memory. So TNAME will occupy 20 bytes. And the next one, TDESIC also can contain 20 characters. That means TDESIC will require 20 bytes of memory. And the last one is TBP. It is of type float data type. That means TBP will take 4 bytes of memory. So the total bytes required by the variable T1 is equal to the total byte required by the variable TID, that means 4 bytes, plus the total bytes required by the variable TNAME, that means 20, plus the total bytes required by the variable TDESIC, that means again 20, plus the total bytes required by the variable TBP, that is equal to plus 4. So total bytes of memory required by the variable T1 is equal to 48 bytes of memory. 48 bytes of memory. So once again I repeat, the total bytes of memory taken by the variable, taken by the structure variable is equal to the total bytes of memory taken by each data elements declared in the structure. Clear? Now we are going to discuss our second point, nested structure. We are familiar with the term nested. What do you mean by nested? Something inside something. In C++, nested structure has 2 definitions. The first definition is if a structure is declared inside another structure, that type of structure is known as nested structure. This is an example of my first definition. Here I have declared defined a structure teacher. It contains TID, TNAME, TDESIC, and inside this structure I have again defined another structure named DOB, that means date of birth. And in date of birth it contains 3 variables, day, month and year. So this is an example of a structure defined inside another structure. This is the first definition. And the second definition is if a structure variable is declared inside another structure, that is also known as nested structure. Once again I repeat, if a structure variable is defined inside another structure, that type of declarations is also known as nested structure. Consider this example. Here, the DOB structure is defined outside the structure teacher. Here what's the difference? Here DOB is defined inside the structure teacher. Here DOB is defined outside the structure teacher. I have defined the structure DOB. 3 variables are declared here, and I have closed the DOB with a semicolon. That means the definition is given outside the structure teacher. In the similar way, we have declared the structure teacher. We have TID, TNAME, TDESIG. Here the point comes. Here the variable of date of birth, means variable of DOB, is declared inside the structure teacher, DOB TDate. That means the variable, the data of DOB can also be accessed from the structure teacher. So it is also known as nested structure. Clear? Now, next we are going to look how we can access the data of a nested structure. So which is a nested structure? You have understood DOB is the nested structure. It contains 3 data: day, month and year. Here also day, month and year. Now I am going to look how I can access the data day, month and year. That is the inner structure. Which is outer structure? Teacher is the outer structure. This is the outer structure. And this is the inner structure. Why this is called as inner structure? Because the variable of the variable of DOB is declared inside teacher. So this is known as the inner structure and teacher is known as the outer structure. Similarly, here also the teacher is the outer structure and DOB is the inner structure. So to access the data of DOB, the syntax is outer structure variable dot, here I have no space, I am writing in the next line, outer structure variable dot inner structure variable dot inner structure data element. The last semicolon is given. So to access day, month and year, I have to write as outer structure variable is T1. So T1 dot inner structure variable is T date. So T1 dot T date and our inner structure data element. This is the inner structure. Here inner structure is defined outside the teacher. So first data is T day. And the month can also be accessed as T1 dot T date dot month. And year can be accessed as T1 dot T date dot year. So we have accessed the 3 inner structure data elements T1 dot T date. This is the outer structure variable dot inner structure variable dot data element of inner structure. Okay. Now, how can we access the data TID? Here there is no difference. TID can be accessed in the same way we discussed it in the previous class. How it is accessed? It is accessed by giving as T1 dot TID. Then TNAME is accessed as T1 gets of T1 dot TNAME. In the similar way, gets of T1 dot TDESIG and so on. Hope all of you understood about the nested structure. Next we are going to discuss the last portion, array of structure. In the last class, we discussed how to declare structure variables. So this is an example of declaring structure variables. Here I have declared 3 variables, T1, T2 and T3. That means T1 can represent represent the first teacher, T2 can represent the second teacher, and T3 can represent the third teacher. For example, if I want to input, will enter the details of 50 teachers. If I am using this syntax, it will be a very difficult task because I have to give as T1, T2, T3, T4, and up to T50 I have to give 50 different variables. So this will be a very difficult task. Here comes the importance of array of structure. So this is an example of array of structure. Here, instead of giving as T1, T2, T3, I have given T1 of 50. That means the structure variable T1 is treated as an array, and it can contain, the single variable T1 can contain 50 locations. That means each location can store the details of one teacher. First location can store the details of the first teacher, second location can store the details of the second teacher, and it goes on. The last location can be used to store the details of the last teacher. As we all of us know, the first location can be accessed as T1 of 0, or by using the index or subscript. T1 of 0 represent the details of the first teacher. T1 of 1 represents the details of the second teacher, and it goes on. T1 of 49 represents the details of the third teacher. Now, next we are going to look how we can access the details of the data members using this array of structure. So for example, if I want to access the TID, that means teacher ID of the second teacher, I have to write as T1 of 1 dot TID. If I want to access the teacher's TBP of the fifth teacher, I have to write as T1 of 4 dot TBP. In the same way, we can access all the details of all the teachers inputted to the structure. So hope all of you understood what I have taught today. So in the next class, we will be discussing about the programs related to structures. So thank you for being with me. Thank you.